WTL.
It's time!
WTL.
I think we got a show. Oh yeah, we got a show.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Class, and joined by
J.O.
Oh, the J.O.
The J.O.
You got to throw that "the" in front of it, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Kind of get that nose up a little bit, like Ohio State, the Ohio
It's
State.
like Sunday Night Football when they're introducing the starting lineups, like the J.O.
The J.O.
Yeah.
I think that's where it needs to be. So.
Love it.
And you know what else we love, and all of our listeners out there? The Huskers are 2-0.
Oh, man. How good does that feel?
Well, I mean, we were predicting the Huskers to maybe not cover. You know, I overanalyzed it last week, and the Huskers are notorious for getting me, you know, but that's why we love them.
Yeah, but how did you know at halftime Coach Rule was just going to rip into everybody up 33-0? We can't prepare for that.
You got defensive linemen cutting the old linemen. They don't respect you. I'm like, I respect you.
I'll go do it, Coach. I'll go do it. I love every second of that.
I did too. And I think that's the way you need to be to, you know, keep your foot on the gas and to keep focused. How tough would it be or easy to be, lose your focus, being up by 33 points, knowing you got it in control, knowing that, hey, we got a fun engagement party to go to afterwards. The cheerleaders are going to be happy, all this other hoopla. And I think we're going to see more of the same here this week, but we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I don't want to bury the lead.
This is a big weekend.
Nebraska's own, the pound-for-pound greatest boxer on the planet, Bud Terrence Crawford. Mm-hmm. He's going to be in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Not the Sphere, not at some little arena, the stadium where the Raiders play. And he's going to fill it up, taking on Canelo. This is going to be live, not a pay-per-view.
No, Netflix.
It's on Netflix. And since there's so much, I don't want to call it secrecy, but since it's on Netflix and it's quote-unquote free, the payouts, we don't exactly know how much the winner's going to get, how much the loser's going to get. Anything you can dig up on is they're both going to get paid a lot of money.
I'm anticipating a lot of in-show advertising.
You'd think so.
To kind of take care of that.
Yeah, I think so. So the main card begins at 9 p.m. Eastern. Main event, walk-ins with the fun music. Last time, didn't Bud have Eminem?
Yeah.
Walk down?
How cool is that, though? You get a guy like him. Sometimes you forget because he lives here.
Yeah.
You forget how big of a star he is.
Oh, I know.
You weren't kidding when you said pound for pound greatest boxer fighter in the world. He is.
Yeah. That's probably the pinnacle of my entire sports broadcasting career is getting to interview Bud Crawford here in studio. So that's where it's at for me. I do think. We can get right into it. There's so much on the line here. Oh, boy. Okay, so for the undisputed super middleweight titles, that's the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, the IBF, and the Ring Magazine's custom $188,000 belt.
Let's go.
Is all on the line. This will be the first time in history, that you'll have somebody that owns 3 different weight classes and all the belts, all 4 or 5 or whatever belts there are with that, because if Bud can knock off Canelo, he'll get all 4 of his belts as well.
Wow.
Yeah, this is insane. This is crazy.
This is all time. I mean, we haven't seen a fight like this for Crawford quite yet. I mean, where he had to take himself in the weight class up to this point, and so much on the line so late kind of in his career. Right. That's kind of the thing. He's been wanting these fights for how long? 10 years even. But here he is, and I'm excited about it.
He's been saying for years he wants to land that big fish. He's got those fishing net shorts. He's trying to land that big fish. Errol Spence was supposed to be that big fish. Took care of him in short order. I couldn't believe it. Well, maybe I could. As soon as he knocked him down the third time he knocked down Errol Spence, started seeing tweets. Errol Spence is just right. He must have been sick. Oh man, he's pulled his hammy beforehand. Just didn't want to say no. Bud put him in his place like we predicted here on this show, and he showed his class. We're going to hear from Jimmy Allen. He's going to say some things for us on our YouTube channel. Great prediction, love it. He's 2 for 2, by the way. When we talked to Jimmy Allen about Bud Crawford, but he's like, the footwork was immaculate. He danced circles around Errol Spence. It didn't matter that Errol was the middleweight and Bud had to go up a weight class. It didn't matter. Bud went up. He carried the weight just fine, spun circles around him. By about that 5th or 6th round, you knew it was over for Errol Spence.
You knew he had it. Rihanna had love on the brain. Jimmy Allen's got fight on the brain. He nails it every time, so make sure you go check out his analysis on it. But no, Crawford he's a guy, and this happens every single fight.
Yeah.
He gives himself a few rounds to kind of learn how the fight's going to go. You can go to camp for 5, 6 months, 3 months, whatever it is, and they're preparing till you're in the ring, till you're toe-to-toe with your opponent. You don't quite know how it's going to go down. But man, he's smart.
He's so smart. He's so quick. And I think that speaks to his patience, how he's progressed over the year, and the confidence he has in his skill set. When we went to his last match, me and Jabron here in Omaha, and he was a heavy favorite. Like, it was a ridiculous line. But he was so good that he could just dance around and jab that dude for like 7 or 8 rounds, not even worried if he was going to catch one, not worried if he was going to lose the fight. And then about round 8 or 9, because he felt that he gave the hometown crowd,
he gave something,
gave him a good enough show. Then he went to town and knocked his ass out. Like, that's how good he is. And that was one of the best contenders on the planet at the time.
Yeah, I mean, and they talk about his defensive skills, all-time defense. Mayweather is probably his closest comparison to kind of the defensive skill set that he has, which puts him up against Canelo. What's his strongest strength? Well, he's an animal. I mean, he's just a beast. Brute. He catches you with a punch. Who knows where you're going to end up? May end up outside of the ring. He's that strong. So that's going to be on display the entire fight, is Crawford's defensive skills and how he can land his jabs here or there, just kind of keep upright.
And that's been one of the stories throughout Crawford's entire career, is you never land a square punch.
Right.
He's always moving one way or the other, and you're never going to land a clean shot. Let's get into the odds here. We got Canelo favored. He is your overall favorite, collecting about 60% of the money as well at a minus 170 consensus. Crawford is your solid underdog at a plus 140. That's really across the books. I mean, if you look at DraftKings right now, Canelo's at a minus 195. So there's your fluctuation. You can shop it around a little bit. And the way that it's going, and Canelo being the bigger name, having more bouts, he's 63-2-2 with 39 KOs. Crawford is 41-0 with 31 KOs. Some of that is, Bud was looking for that big fight. Nobody wanted to fight him. He got in that weird contract with Top Rank and ESPN, and they had trouble lining up fights for him, depending on who you listen to or what you listen to there. But Canelo's more known, and I think the more known commodity collects more of the handle regardless. So I think that's part of the reason why you're seeing the money flow in on Canelo. Also, he's the favorite, right? I think there's some serious value here.
Oh, yeah. Anybody who knows the fight game, or anybody who's just, they're seriously underrating Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
Look at what you can get. First of all, if we're talking about this fight going late, I mean, anything over 10.5 is plus money right now.
Yes.
So if you're thinking, all right, there's not going to be a knockout, this thing's going to go the distance, there's money for you. If you think Crawford's just going to outright take this fight, it's plus money. I mean, there's opportunity here to, take care of the hometown kid.
Yeah, there sure is. And if you want to get really frisky, Crawford by anytime KO or TKO is at a plus 800 consensus on most books. I mean, I'll probably have to sprinkle a little bit on that. I know there's cooler heads out there, but, I'm letting a little bit of the fan in me get this one. Crawford by decision, plus 225. I think that's probably your best bet, your most secure bet is Bud by decision. He had to put on 14 pounds to jump up to this weight class. I think he's going to carry it just fine, man. Those workout videos that have been all over Twitter, all over X, social media, he looks like he can carry the weight just fine to me.
He's absolutely jacked, and the thing is, a lot of his game is the mental, so there's no weight. There's no weight there, right? So if he can put on the muscle and handle the weigh, and man, I love him too, and I love him by decision as well. I think that's the smart play.
There is a boxer out there that some folks know of, Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. He had some things to say about this fight, and he doesn't like how Crawford had to jump up 2 weight classes here, and talks about how that could really hurt him. We see that a lot in the UFC and mixed martial arts when a guy tries to go up a weight class and it catches up to him. This is one of those times that, even if I was face to face, I'd get out of arm's length. But I think I'd disagree with Mr. Tyson on this one.
Yeah, I mean, in the UFC, you're gonna have a guy laying on you. So I think that's the difference when you're talking about handling your weight. It's a little bit different. No, I disagree with Mr. Tyson on that as well. I don't want to. If he's in my face,
right.
If he's here right now, I totally agree with you, Mike.
We agree with you within arm's length or face to face. Otherwise, we might have to disagree respectfully on that one.
Respectfully, of course.
Canelo by decisions is still plus money, plus 105, plus 110. But we like that plus 225 Crawford for our overall best bet. Crawford by decision. And I might not be able to help myself. This is the fan of me, have to go a little bit with a plus 800, but with the knockout.
Man, give me that over on the rounds, just so that every round I can be like, all right, another one down, let's go. Another one down, let's go.
Yep. And if Bud stays true to his fight style, and I believe he will, he's taking this very, very seriously, he is going to use that first 3 to 4 rounds to just measure things up. So he's not going to try and land a big punch. He's not going to try and get himself in trouble.
Yep.
He's going to do a lot of, picking his spots, seeing how Canelo's going to approach him. And then when it gets to rounds 5, 6, 7, and on is when you're going to start seeing the real fight develop.
And don't get shaky if he takes a punch in those first 4 rounds, because that's likely when he does take a punch is when he's trying to figure it out as well. So that's something to watch well if you're live betting.
No doubt about it. So you heard the horn. That means we're up against it. But let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the linemakers.com, where we don't chase the hype, we decode it by applying stock market, trading discipline to live sporting events, treating every wager like an investment. Thelinemakers.com. We make the line so you beat the book. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
Are you excited for live music? Well, head to the Slowdown on North 14th Street in downtown Omaha on Friday, September 12th to hear Space to Play with special guest Matt Beck from Matchbox 20. Doors open at 7 and the show starts at 8. Tickets are only $16 and can be purchased at theslowdown.com. You can also pre-save the band's new album now on Spotify. So be at the Slowdown on Friday, September 12th to hear Space to Play with special guest Matt Beck from Matchbox 20. Purchase your tickets today.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Between two-factor authentication, strong passwords, and a VPN, you try to be in control of how your info is protected. But many other places also have it, and they might not be as careful. That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit lifelock.com/podcast for 40% off. Terms apply.
WTL.
I'm just a big, hairy American winning machine. If you ain't first, you're last.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. You know what that stands for. Where's the line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Class, and joined by
The J.O.
Oh, you got it.
I got it that time.
You feel like a little more swagger there,
Yeah,
right?
no, it feels good. I need to get a chain now. Now I feel like I need a chain.
I like that. Yes. We're building our character right now.
Yep.
We're characters.
1 week at a time.
That's all we can do.
Can you imagine by the end of the season? Well, I'm gonna be a monster.
I'm just one man. So we talked Canelo, we talked Crawford. You know where we're lying with that one. The Nebraska boy, the old Omaha native Bud Crawford is all where we're at. We're gonna stick with this home theme right now, and we're gonna talk Huskers.
Okay.
They're coming off a pretty gosh darn impressive win.
That was so much fun.
68-0.
Felt like the old days.
Oh man, didn't it though?
Yeah, it felt so good.
Oh, I had it here. That was their first shutout since the 2009 Holiday Bowl.
Insane.
Against that was Arizona. Against Arizona.
Man, I was telling my son, I'm like, it used to be like this all the time.
Yeah.
Like, this is the way it used to be.
I mean, one of the first ones that I can vividly remember, and maybe it was because I was at the game, was like Pacific back in 1994 or something. They beat them like 72-0, and like that following year, Pacific said, "We quit football. We do not have a football. So we're not coming back."
Is that what Coach Rule was alluding to at halftime? Then he's like, "We don't want him to schedule us." Is he saying we want him to quit altogether?
That is a slippery slope. Do not compare yourself to the 90s. the 90 Huskers. Just don't go down that rabbit hole. You don't need to do it. You don't need to do it.
You know what I don't remember, though? I don't remember in the 90s when we'd win 77-0 if we were as excited as we are right now, or if we were just like, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be.
Oh, we were so like bent out of shape over that one fumble by the third string running back. Like,
yeah.
It was like Damon Benning had a fumble in the third quarter. I can't believe it, you know.
Yeah.
If Amon Green gets injured and Lawrence Phillips gets injured, we're rolling 5 deep at high back.
Oh, man.
But yeah, like we said, one step at a time.
One step at a time.
We'll take it. We'll take it. This week, the Huskers are taking on Houston Christian, the Huskies, if you didn't know. That's an 11 a.m. Central Time kickoff. That's going to be on FS1, I believe. And we're having a tough time digging up a point spread. A lot of books want to play this one a little tight to the vest, which this is a home game. Yeah. So the home sports books you can't bet on the Huskers anyway. And we wouldn't want to, get outside the lanes there and do something bad or wrong. So we don't have to worry about the betting line because we can't, because it's a home game.
So you're referring to we would never drive across the river to Iowa? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, well, I mean, if I'm going that way.
I mean, because sometimes it's like, I got to go see some friends, some family, and I'm heading that way.
Yeah, if I'm already going that way, or if if I'm on my way to the game and I see something on like Underdog Fantasy that I like, maybe that's a game of skill.
Yeah, you got to jump in on that.
That's a game of skill. So, but we still got to dive into this one right here. Formerly known as Houston Baptist, this isn't a good team. No. They were 5-7 last year, 3-4 now. This is interesting. Their Week 1 opponent, which was AR Baptist, they beat them 69-0.
Oh.
So they actually won up the Huskers. We only won 68-0 last week.
So when they're par to par with their level, they are us.
You're right.
Versus them.
I guess.
This is interesting.
And they have a quarterback that can move his legs. They play a spread-heavy offense. They're very up-tempo, very quick. These are all the things that following the Cincinnati game both defensive coordinator Butler and head coach Matt Rule was talking about. Like, look, we've always had trouble with a mobile quarterback, and that's exactly what Houston Christian is going to bring to the table here.
Well, that's two things. One, I'm now that you say that, I'm nervous because we do struggle with that. But second, this is great, like scheduling then, to have a school that runs that type of offense so we can get more looks and get more work in, and maybe even get more guys, more depth in there to play against this. I think that's key. So this might actually be genius scheduling, or am I concerned? Because that type of offense generally gives us fits.
A lot of bubble screens. Wow, say that 5 times fast. And quick throws, things of that nature. Yeah, so it should be a very good measuring stick, and especially coming off a game where Cincinnati kind of burned you a couple times. Sorensby's a great quarterback, and also on top of that, I do want to mention he had a pretty darn good game last week passing the ball.
Okay.
We kept him under 100 yards passing. He had more rushing yards than passing yards, and everyone's like, yeah, but he's a running quarterback. No. He can deliver the ball through the air. He did it last week against Bowling Green, had a pretty good day at that. So I do think we got to give our defensive backfield, our defensive safeties and corners a little bit of credit here for shutting down a couple pretty good quarterbacks anyway through the air.
Well, that's credit to our defense, credit to the scheme then to handle that. Bowling Green, they've got that cat. I don't know if you've seen that locker room cat, Pudge.
What's that?
They have a locker room cat named Pudge.
Oh, they do?
He is viral. He's just the biggest thing.
A bear cat?
He's just a cat, like a kitty cat. And, no, he's exciting.
Is that a real thing?
Way off topic, but you mentioned Bowling Green. I'm like, you know what? I got Pudge on the brain right now because he is awesome.
All right. So I have looked at some look-ahead lines, and they range anywhere from Nebraska by 40, Nebraska by 50. There's going to be zero of value in that money line. Right. You're going to be like risking $500 to win $5 type stuff. So yeah, keep your eye on that. But there's just not much there. It's fun to talk about. Well, what do we think? Are the Huskers going to win by 52 or more? That's probably
that's the play.
Yeah, that's the most consensus future prediction I'm seeing right now is plus 52.
And you're not going to see a line on this, but I would be more excited to say, all right, is TJ Lateef our QB2? Is he going to have more than 100 yards passing? He had 128 and one rushing touchdown last week. That's awesome. Like, that is so cool to see him get so much action and perform successfully. I would like to see a line on that. I mean, so if you're maybe just having some fun side bets with some friends, I'd take a look at that. That was a fun player prop.
Yeah, you mentioned the 128. That is one more yard in his one half of work, not even a full half, than Iowa's quarterback has on the season.
Oh, that's a lot of money spent on that guy, too.
Gronkowski only has 127 total yards.
Oh, no.
So whenever we can, sling a little mud over at Iowa, we'll do so.
A lot of NIL spent on that fella.
Oh, man. I just always see Husker Barstool. They just keep retweeting a screenshot of Iowa's Husker Barstool. Yeah. Fellas, we got ourselves a quarterback. Okay, all right. Well, maybe they do. Week by week, right?
Week by week.
By week. Is there anything else you're going to be looking for on this game other than our backups? Because I don't see Houston Christian giving us any issues, especially after that outburst that we've already talked about from head coach Rule. He's going to keep these boys on point. Yep. And you feel a responsibility. I think the upperclassmen do, because this is a spot where some underclassmen should get some playing time, but you got to take care of business first.
Well, absolutely. And I've seen comments of people saying Emmett Johnson shouldn't even play this week. He had 140 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. Let's keep that momentum going. Keep the routine. We need him ready for Michigan. No, I don't believe in sitting the starters here in our third game. We got to get prepared for Michigan and let's get our reps in. Even if it is just a half of football, that's okay.
Yeah. And every meaningful passing category or statistic, Dylan Raiola is in the top 5 nationwide. It doesn't matter. Accuracy, like he threw for, I think he had a 68% completion percentage against Cincinnati. He bettered that last week. It was pushing 80. And I don't care that it was a lower level team. It doesn't matter. There's still a defense out there. He still has to throw a ball through the air, and the guy has to catch it and haul it in.
Well, and the thing is, he has struggled with it, right? So let's keep that build. Let's keep that momentum and keep building as the game starts to slow down for you.
Yeah, and another thing, these guys put in too much work, too much effort throughout the offseason to deny them an opportunity to go play. Emmett Johnson with that 140 yards rushing, averaged 10 yards per carry. Oh. You can't just say, all right, take this week off, buddy.
Right.
No. He's a dog. He wants fed. And also, he put on, we talked about Bud Crawford putting on 14 pounds during his camp and his offseason, you could say. Emmett Johnson put on 12 pounds muscle during the offseason. And I think he's moving just fine.
He is moving awesome.
So if Bud can move like Emmett, I think the Huskers are looking pretty good this week. And, of course, we're fans. We can talk about next week a little bit.
I'll tell you what, after that big win last week, I put on 6 pounds since then, and I am not moving that fast.
That's about right. So, yeah, betting lines are kind of hard to come by here. Maybe you have to make up our own. I like the route that you talked about there. At your Husker tailgate or at your party or in your garage with your buddies. Do you think Lateef's going to have 130? You think he's going to get over 100 passing yards? What about 50 rushing yards? Are the starters all out by half? Stuff like that. I think we got to make our own fun here.
Yeah, and that's going to be a fun. We used to do that. We used to get the little sheets with the little player props and parlays going. It'd be so much fun to get back to that this week because it seems like that's going to be where you get the most action.
Yeah. A fun game that we used to play back in the day. We would everyone would get a 6-pack of Pabst Blue Ribbon bottles.
Oh,
under the bottle cap is a card: Ace of Diamonds, Jack of Spades, and so everyone would bring a 6-pack and would throw it into a communal cooler throughout the entire game. You have the entire game. I'm not saying binge drink or anything, but you have an entire game to drink that 6-pack and kept a board, and we all threw in $10, $20, whatever bucks, and then divvied it up at the end. Whoever had the best hand.
Wow, that's actually pretty cool.
It was a blast, but that was back in the day when 68-0, those type of games. I think we have another one here. We might have to pick up some Pabst Blue Ribbon.
And this may be our last game for a while.
Yeah,
so.
We're going to have plenty of betting lines moving forward. Well, let's take a bit to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
WTL.
This Saturday I will go on national television, live. I will say horrible things on the air, despicable things, and people will call me brave.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, and I'm very excited to have back on the program Rod Vermilio. Rod, how are we doing?
Great. Thanks for having me. How was your weekend this weekend at that Nebraska game?
68-0. I don't know if you can beat that. So everybody in Huskerland, we're pretty happy right now.
Should be. Got a really easy game on the line this week, or it should be. So hopefully Nebraska continues those winning ways. As you know, no line right now on that game. And we're not going to have a syndicate play on it. But I see that as an easy win. 49-6, 49-12. So not quite as easy as last week, but an easy game for them again this week.
Yeah, Houston Christian, they had a blowout of their own in a shutout where they scored 69-0 against AR Baptist, I believe. But hopefully Nebraska can put up a little bit more of a fight than AR Baptist did in week one.
Yeah, I would hope so.
I know we have a slate here of college games that we want to dive into. Where would you like to start?
Let's start on Thursday night's game. Wake Forest. The line is at 7.5, getting 7.5. Over under on that game is 52. Not sure if this is going to qualify for a syndicate trade for us, but we're gonna tease that one. It's real close to a syndicate trade, so take Wake Forest plus 14.5 and the over 45.
Okay, I love how you utilize that teaser. If it's close to that syndicate play, but it's not quite there, go ahead and buy those points. Use that teaser.
Yeah, so let's jump over to Friday's game. Friday, you got the Colorado Buffs. I don't know. They've got some quarterback controversy over there. Colorado is plus 5.5. The totals it started at 44, went to 45. That could be a syndicate play for us at the plus 12, 12.5. If it stays at plus 12, 12.5, it would be a syndicate play for us. I'm sorry, at the 5.5 if it stays there. But we're going to tease that one as well. I like Colorado to keep this one close, and I like them to put some points on the board, especially with that quarterback challenge. So we'll take a tease on this one for right now at plus 12.5 and the over 38.
That's going to have to be one where us Husker fans pinch our nose a little bit and take Colorado, because there's not too many Buffalo fans across the Cornhusker State.
No, sorry about that. Just, we're here to make money, but I know what you're saying.
Do we want to look at Iowa State?
Yeah, let's look at Iowa State. So Iowa State line minus 21 against Arkansas State, over under at 55. Again, too many points for a syndicate trade for us, but if you want some action on that game, tease that down to minus 14 and go over the 48.
Yeah, won a thriller against, you could call it a thriller, I guess, if you're from Iowa, over the Hawkeyes last week in the Cy-Hawk game. Another low-scoring affair, so you can see why there's not huge points up on that one. Wisconsin, Alabama, a lot of intrigue here. Obviously, there's a lot of ties between the Wisconsin program and the Nebraska program, and kind of a natural rivalry game there. But this one's a little bit different, as we got a frustrated, you could still say frustrated, Alabama team.
Absolutely. So line sitting at plus 21 for Wisconsin, and the over-under at 46. Alabama, I think they're just going to continue to have some struggles. I think Wisconsin can keep this one close. Again, not a syndicate trade for us, but I would tease that if you want action on this game. Tease that to Wisconsin plus 28 and go over the 39.
Love it. And that also feeds into the whole SEC, Big Ten. Going to be a lot of eyeballs on that game. Go ahead and cover yourself with that teaser. Do we want to move into the NFL?
Let's do it. Thursday night game, Washington and Green Bay. So Washington right now is at 3.5, plus 3.5, and the total's at 48. Not a syndicate play for us. I know everybody is on the Green Bay bandwagon after that start. Washington handled the Giants last week 21-6. With it not being a syndicate play, I would tease that one if you want some action on Thursday night NFL. Again, take Washington plus 10.5. I think it's closer than a lot of people think it's going to be. And again, over the 41.
Okay. Yeah, it's interesting watching the storylines develop from week to week in the NFL. Everybody was off Washington for this or that reason. They still take care of business, as you mentioned, and now we figure out a new reason why we don't like Washington. So it's always interesting, and that's why I love to cut through all that, get right to it with the betting lines. Can we talk about Denver, Indianapolis? We have a lot of Denver fans, and they got to be pretty happy. They're one of the teams out in the AFC West that have a win, unlike the Chiefs.
Right. Denver -2. I think the total's 42.5. Not going to be a syndicate play for us. But one of the things that I think, you're going to see Denver take care of business. Indy had a really, really hot start this last week. Denver beats Tennessee 20-12. Bo Nix went 25 of 40 with 176 yards. Had a touchdown, but did have 2 interceptions, and they still win that game. So I think he plays a little more conservative this week. Indy just thumped Miami 33-8. And, Daniel Jones, 22 of 29 for 272 yards. Who saw that coming, right?
Right.
But I think Denver covers this line. I would take them at -2. I think the Cinderella slipper comes off for Indiana, and I think they come back down to earth this week.
Okay, and I mentioned the Chiefs. They're the only team in that conference without a win. Who saw that coming? Philadelphia coming to Arrowhead. We're going to have some coverage down there on the News Channel Nebraska side. My partner for Nebraska Football Now is going to be covering Cam Jurgens, the Pro Bowl center for the Eagles from a small town here in southeast Nebraska. So that'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, when you got the returning Super Bowl champs, the dynasty that is the Chiefs, there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this game, and we're already seeing a lot of action being put on this game as well.
Absolutely. So, Philadelphia comes into this game. They beat Dallas 24-20. Prescott was 21 of 34 for 188 yards. Hurts had a good game as well, 19 of 23 for 152 yards. The Kansas City Chiefs, as you said, lost to the Chargers 27-21. I know your fans aren't going to want to hear this, but getting beat 27-21, Patrick Mahomes goes 24 of 39. So he looked good, putting up 258 yards. KC had less than 100 yards rushing, and Patrick Mahomes was the leading rusher with 57 yards. So, and they gave up 394 yards and 304 of that in the air. So, one of our player props was on the receiving side against that secondary, which we mentioned, and that did hit. So I think this, Kansas City, not in a must-win situation too early in the season, but boy, they would hate to go to 0-2.
Yeah.
But I think Philadelphia is going to be too much for them to handle. I think it's a close game. If Kansas City wins, I think they win by a field goal. So I would tease that -1 and the 47 to Philadelphia +6 and the over 40.
Love that play. As we mentioned with some of the other games, especially on the college ranks, there's always such an overreaction. And I'm just hearing on the radio and seeing so many places that, oh, it's over for Kansas City. It's over for Kansas City. Not so fast, but I do like Philadelphia this week, getting it done on the road.
Yeah, I will give you, A.J. Brown +4.5 receptions. Like I said last week against that Kansas City secondary, that's going to be a player prop that I think everybody should jump on as well. So in that game, take A.J. Brown over the 4.5 on a player prop.
All right. Do we have any other player props? Because we love talking player props.
I know you do. So let's go to the Atlanta-Minnesota game, since you got some Minnesota listeners in your back door there. So this is an interesting game. Both quarterbacks played for the national championship a couple years ago, where McCarthy's Michigan Wolverines, cruised past Michael Penix and his Washington team. But Minnesota had an interesting game this past week with the Bears. Brian Flores didn't blitz much on Monday until that second half, and so I don't think he sits back quite so much this game. And so I think that he's going to blitz more, and I think that's going to allow Atlanta's Brian Robinson and Penix to have to check down more. So I think the over 27.5 for Robinson on receiving yards is a good play on a player prop.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, you could really see the full game plan come together for the Vikings. As you mentioned, in that second half, they had the Bears backpedaling, off balance, any way you want to put it, throughout that comeback. So love that player prop right there.
Last thing I want to mention is, listen, you guys have partnered with the technology of Global Sports Bet Network. TheLinemakers.com is your subscription platform. I know you want to share, and help people make money. If they're going to sports bet, do it responsibly. So TheLinemakers.com, NFL week 1, we started off 2-1. So the subscribers that came on board for that package have already paid for their subscription for the year in the first week. College football through week 2, we've gone 7-2. So we're 9-3 with syndicate plays. Player props we're winning money on as well. You can get those packages for as little as $49.99 a month. And so 75%, 9-3 total. Everybody ought to be jumping on the linemakers.com subscription packages if they want to make money sports day trading.
Rod, you took me right where I want to go because we're out of time. So, we got to talk about one of our sponsors, and that is thelinemakers.com. Well, we don't just chase the hype, we decode it by applying stock market trading discipline to live sporting events, treating every wager like an investment. That's how we go 75%, right, Rod?
Absolutely.
TheLinemakers.com. They make the line, so you beat the book. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL.
WTL.
Hello?
Hi, I'm looking for a Mr. Ron. First name Mo.
Mo Ron? Moron. It's you little puke.
WTL.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
the J.O.
the J.O. Jeremy from Nebraska.
J.O. from Nebraska.
J.O. from Nebraska. There we go. Talking that Twitter, that X handle. You got any shows coming up here? Laugh with me.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a new episode coming out here in 2 days. It's going to be another Friday happy hour, which is a fun special episode we put out every once in a while, just kind of wind down from the week, but always a fun listen. So, yeah, check us out, Laugh With Me podcast.
So, one day, since today's Thursday?
One day. In
Okay.
one day.
In one day.
Yeah, see, that Friday happy hour is going to hit so good. I mean, I don't even know what day of the week it is.
Right on. Right. Hey, yeah. Hey, I'm all for happy hour. Don't say I'm not. But we got to get right to it. Oh, first off, love that segment with Rodney Vermilio. I mean, he just gets right into the numbers, tells you what you want to hear. I get kind of sheepish when we say like, "Oh, we're hitting 75% of our bets."
That's tough
because it sounds unreal, And I've always lived by that. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But no, we've been vetting, and I've been talking with this guy and working with this guy for over 2 years now. I feel really good about what we're offering, and yeah, I mean 9-1 to start the season.
Yeah, I personally on those NFL lines. I paid for the month, so it's definitely worth it.
You were one of the first subscribers,
yes.
to pick up and you didn't do the $49.99 package. You did the
I did the $99.
$99. You're like, if I'm going to do this,
I'm going all in.
I'm going all in.
Yeah.
You remind me of that meme. We're just going to have to send it. I'm going to have to send it.
If you're not going all in, what are you doing with your life?
Come on. Yeah, come on.
Responsibly, of course.
Yeah. Send it responsibly. I like that. Yes, very much so. And that's part of what we're talking about with the whole package and all that stuff. Okay, we got to get back to one of our favorite segments, maybe the segment that everyone's been looking forward to. That is the bottom five. That is the JO original. And you got some top five bets to go along with these bottom five teams. So
here's the thing.
Take the floor. Take the stage.
The 5 worst teams in the NFL for week number 2. Remember, it's not just about wins and losses. The vibes are very important. Number 5, the Dallas Cowboys. Now, remember, they were the worst. They were number 1 last week, so they are getting better.
So they're moving up.
They are moving up when you really look at the rankings. We can't forget about the awful offseason, but we do have to look at the game last week against the Eagles. They looked pretty good, actually. They looked like they were going to take down the defending champs. But when you're one of your best playmakers, C.D. Lamb, can't make the big catch in the big moments.
Yeah. And George Pickens didn't help him out with that late penalty that just basically shut down that last drive. It's like, what do you guys? You're not helping the cause.
No, and I love when they take the shots to Jerry Jones in the suite, and because you can tell what kind of night he's having. And
see the steam coming out of his ears.
See it, the poor guy. He was going through the motions all game. Should have been a Dallas Cowboy win, frankly, and it was not. So we're going to put them at number 5, but things are looking better, so we can't get too down on them. Your team prop for the week, Dallas to win both halves this week.
Oh.
Okay,
so you're going to parlay the two together, the first half and the game.
Yes, you can, because they are playing the New York Giants. This is a football team that's struggling. This is a football team that already after week 1 is saying bench Russell Wilson.
We alluded to that in the preseason, when we were doing our divisional favorites, and my God, the New York media didn't even give him a game.
So if you go to that team prop, you can find Dallas will win both halves plus 188. I love it. I think they're going to take care of business against the Giants to rebound and go 1-1.
I like that. Doug Duda's got to like that too.
Number 4, you're pretty familiar with them, the Chicago Bears. We just saw them Monday night. What a first half, huh?
And I think a lot of that was by design, what Rod Vermilio had to say in the earlier segment, where Minnesota didn't show any blitz, they didn't show any pressures defensively, and then just unleashed the beast in the second half, and Caleb Williams looked like Caleb Williams. His fingernails look nice.
They look great.
They did. They were painted up to the nines, but that didn't help the exotic blitzes and different types of coverages that were thrown his way, and he could not handle.
Which is one of the reasons why we're going to hold on in the bottom 5 for the Chicago Bears, because the nail tech story can't be a thing coming out of week 1.
That's rough.
So we've got a team special on this game. They are playing the Detroit Lions. I see the Lions coming out wanting to score first to get things going offensively. They will score first, and they will win. That is a plus 112 when you put those together. So
I love this. Your bottom 5 is going to be that plus money bet.
I was thinking about it last week. I'm like, I've got 5 bad teams, but maybe we're not making enough money off of them. So
big money energy right
here we go. Number 3, the Cleveland Browns, and rightfully so. They should be in here. The vibes are really low. They should have beaten the Cincinnati Bengals. Missed field goal there at the end. Flacco, usually good for at least one real long ball a week. He's starting to show his age. So this is a team that was set up to tank then almost beats the Bengals, and fans are just not having it. But this week they're playing the Ravens, who also need to rebound after what happened last week.
Oh, boy. Yeah, do you think they're going to allow a team to hang around now?
No.
Especially if it's the Browns? Yeah, I don't
So you can get a game combo there where the Ravens win and the under 45 for plus 102.
Okay. Any particular reason you're liking the under? Just you're thinking Cleveland's so inept?
Yeah, I like Baltimore's defense wanting to make a stance after last week, because actually going into that Buffalo game, the Ravens were talking up the defense. I saw Ray Lewis pregame saying this defense has the talent and has just the go that they're going to be the difference for this team. Well, that obviously wasn't the case. I see them wanting to make that up, and Cleveland's the team to do that.
Okay.
And offensively, pretty inept.
All right.
You're going to like this one. Number 2 on the bottom 5, the Kansas City Chiefs from KC.
Get out. Get out of here.
Here's why.
Okay.
The vibes couldn't be lower right now, okay?
It's pretty tough.
Xavier Worthy, one of your top guys coming in, gets taken out by Mr. Kelsey, okay? America's tight end. Not only, and he even said on his own podcast that he didn't have his head in the game on that first drive.
Yeah.
It showed, dude.
Yeah.
He was in the wrong spot, which cost Worthy multiple weeks.
Yeah.
And then he got punched in the face by Tart on the Chargers, and he just had to take it.
Oh, my God.
They didn't even eject Tart.
Yeah. Hey.
So the Chiefs have lost to a division rival. They've lost wide receiver 1. Kelsey looks like a fool. Yeah, Mahomes is pretty frustrated right now, and they've got a rematch this week from the Super Bowl with the Eagles. If you remember, the Eagles sacked Kansas City 6 times in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
I like the Eagles this week. Team special to score first. Mm-hmm. Maybe a tush push even. Who knows?
Yeah.
I like them to score first and win plus 185.
Okay. I like the win, even though it's on the road. They're just such a bully. They're such a bully, and right now it feels like Kansas City can get bullied around a little bit.
Oh, yeah. They got a ways to go.
Yeah.
Number 1, the Miami Dolphins. I didn't see this coming.
Oh.
I did not see the Miami Dolphins being the worst team in football at this point. It's so bad that Mike McDaniels has taken his line to be the first coach fired this year.
Oh, my gosh.
From plus 200 to minus 200.
Is that like on Polymarket? That's so rough. Oh, that's rough.
He is the only NFL head coach right now at minus money. He looked flustered after the game. They obviously looked flustered on the field. There is a large amount of people who are like, oh, 2 over Herbert. Those people are having a tough time right now. So
yeah, they are.
Yeah, so easily the worst team in the NFL right now going to week 2, Miami Dolphins. I like, as your special play, the Patriots money line plus 100. I don't even have to go to the props for this one.
Really?
Patriots, who don't look terrible. They don't look great, but they don't look terrible. Plus money there to beat up the Dolphins.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't think you're going to get too much pushback there, but I did ask ChatGPT for their bottom 5.
Okay.
I want to get AI. We're always cutting edge here. And there's some overlap here where they have the Dolphins at 2.
Okay.
Second worst. They have the Giants at 3.
Actually, you know what? Shout out Giants. It is 9/11.
Okay.
So shout out the Giants. Never forget.
So they can move up. They can move up a spot. That's so nice. So fitting, right? But they also have the New England Patriots as the worst.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm giving them credit.
Yeah, you are. So I'm thinking that's kind of a toss-up game. But when I don't know, South Park had an episode where there was a turd sandwich versus a douchebag. And he's like, well, who really wins out of this? So maybe that's kind of like a toilet bowl here.
Yeah,
that's kind of what we're looking at here.
Let's go.
And if that's where it's at, we're going to go with the Patriots, America's team there for over a couple decades, just Super Bowl after Super Bowl, taking down the Dolphins. And yeah, Mike McDaniels, their head coach, I totally get it. Like, remember when he was so cool with his vape pen on the sideline? And that all gets really old really fast when you're not winning.
And that's kind of where they're at with them. I can't imagine living in Miami and being into that.
Yeah, that's pretty rough. Well, that'll about do it for us here at Where's the Line. Be sure to check out our YouTube short videos on game day for those latest edge possible. Also, follow us on ESPN Tri-City over their Facebook page. And we're all over X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, at podcast_WTL. Thanks to Rod Vermilio of the Global Sports Betting Network for joining us once again and giving us all those free plays and syndicated bets. for Jeremy Odom, a.k.a.
The J.O.
J.O. I'm Andy Klassen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.